one of your shorter friends so they can see this video too. Now technically, being called short means you're between 5'3" and 5'7" inches tall. Now at this height, you can sometimes actually pass as a child, therefore getting cheaper prices. And you even get to ignore the caution low ceiling signs, which saves a lot of headaches. You sometimes even get to use tall people as human shields to protect from objects and even nature. And short people can probably fit over a month's worth of washing in one single load. Now the good news is, you will typically live longer according to research and studies. And being short...
What's up, Seekers? Welcome back to the channel. How you guys doing? Hopefully you guys are doing alright, man. If you guys are brand new to the channel, you guys don't know what we do. We break down scary and creepy videos on the net, on the web, man. From YouTube videos to TikTok videos, IG videos, Facebook, anything weird, usual, and unexplained, you can find right here on this channel. Just want to thank the supporters, man, who's tapping into the channel, subscribing, hitting that post notification bell, man. Yeah, helping us grow the community. I really appreciate that. Let's do what we do best, Seekers, man. Let's seek the truth.
Crazy Ways People Have Died, Part 1.
Here we go.
In 2010, a man named Sam Ballard was dared by his drunk friends to eat a slug. And so he did. Little did he know the slug gave him a parasite, which made him paralyzed and sick. He stayed this way for 8 years till 2018, when he was 28. The sickness became too much for him, and he died. Stop just putting stuff in your mouths! Stop!
Yeah, I ain't doing that there, bro.
Blood-curdling facts that you wish you never knew. Part 21. This photo shows an 8-month-old Zhao Bao who was lucky to be alive because his mother stabbed him 90 times after he bit her while she was breastfeeding him. The world's scariest haunted house, McCamey Manor, requires you to sign a 40-page waiver and undergo a physical and mental evaluation.
What the
If you manage to make it through the house, you could win $20,000. But to this day, no one has ever made it through. The little girl who voiced Ducky in The Land Before Time was shot to death by her father, who then committed suicide. Roman Emperor Nero had a boy castrated, dressed him up as a bride, and married him, all because the boy looked similar to his previous dead wife. A 46-year-old man found and attacked a 13-year-old boy because the kid was killing him too many times in a game of Call of Duty.
Oh my god, goodness. Oh, a damn game. Really?
This is probably the worst secret code name for an undercover operation that I've ever heard. John Arbogast was a 55-year-old school teacher from Georgia. He was teaching students social studies at a middle school in Cobb County, but had a hideous secret obsession with indecent images of children. He had a baseball card shop, and obviously due to this and his day job, he worryingly had huge access to children on a daily basis. He was found to be online constantly trafficking child SA images and was involved in a huge P-ring. Now this caught the attention of the FBI, who created an undercover operation called Innocent Images. The operation spanned 2 years and started in 1993 after a 10-year-old boy vanished. This boy was George Badinsky, and the undercover operation led to the arrest of 12 men across the world. But frustratingly, George's case remains unsolved.
What the
In September 1995, before he could be arrested, John closed his shop and went on the run. His case then appeared on an episode of Unsolved Mysteries in 1996. He was last seen in Las Vegas, Nevada, but luckily due to the broadcast, police received a tip. They were told he was working at a hotel in LA, and police were able to hunt him down and arrest him. They captured him on the 11th of July 1997. He was frustratingly released from prison just 1 year later.
How?
This pastor is being accused of unaliving his own wife. This case is currently ongoing, but it's been so highly suggested, so this is what we know so far. On April 28th, Pastor John Paul Miller made the shocking announcement at the end of his church service that his wife, Micah, had unalived herself. He then asked everyone to leave quietly and not discuss his wife's death. Micah's family and friends do not believe this cause of death and have taken to social media with the hashtag Justice for Micah. John Paul also wrote Micah's obituary, where he talked mostly about himself, not even Micah, who was the one that passed away.
Weird.
He also painted their marriage as like a perfect relationship, which is really odd considering that Micah filed for divorce and a restraining order against her husband only days before her passing. The weeks prior to Micah's passing, she was sharing on Facebook about abusive relationships and really just hinting that something wasn't right. A friend of Micah's has come out and confirmed that Micah told her that there was abuse in the marriage, and also that church funds were being used for things not church related. And since more friends and family of Micah have come out with similar accounts. Also been some speculation that John Paul was having an affair, a years-long affair with this woman that he's been seen in the days before and the days after Micah's death. That woman's husband also passed away in a really suspicious way, but that's just online speculation for right now. The investigation is currently ongoing, so hopefully we have answers really, really soon. But in the meantime, make sure to leave all your thoughts, theories, questions, and case suggestions in the comments for me. This 24-year-old.
She was saying about that case, man, the thoughts and theories. What do you guys think? Like I said, it was too sad. That's why I said you can't believe everything in the media or what somebody portrays to be true. Because on a surface level, it looks like they had a perfect relationship, but behind the scenes, the wife, she had a completely different story. So you can't just take everything at first glance. You really gotta dive deep into things like that. Crazy case.
Teacher was caught being inappropriate with her 5th grade student. This is 24-year-old Madison Bergman from Wisconsin. The 11-year-old boy's mother had heard him on a phone call with his 24-year-old teacher and took his phone away. She discovered text messages between the two, and Madison would text him stuff like, "I really wanted to make out with you today." These texts were then printed out and taken to the school. Authorities were notified and they immediately opened up an investigation.
Yes, they should.
The cops searched Madison's backpack and they had found a folder with the 11-year-old boy's name on it. Inside of that folder, they had found several handwritten letters. Written on these notes, Madison is telling the boy that she loves him, she wants to kiss him, he turns her on, and she is obsessed with him. The 11-year-old boy ends up talking to police, and he states that Madison would move his desk next to hers so that she could touch him without other students noticing. It was pretty often that Madison would make the boy stay behind during lunch, and a lot of the students thought he was always in trouble, but that was not the case. 11-year-old claimed that Madison had kissed him several times in that classroom, either after school or when everyone was at lunch. The 11-year-old's family had actually become friends with Madison, and they even went on a ski trip to a nearby resort. And that specific weekend is when Madison got the 11-year-old boy's number. Get this, Madison was actually engaged, but she will no longer be walking down that aisle. Madison has disabled her social media and is not allowed on school property or school events.
Good.
Madison is currently free on a $25,000 bond.
Gotta watch who you become friends with, man. She had an agenda. She just became friends so she could have access.
Here's some facts that are oddly comforting and make me feel less bad about the world. It is statistically proven that people see you 20% more attractive than you see yourself. Your pet probably dreams about you. Like, all the time. Partially because you're like the only person they have ever interacted with. Squirrels accidentally plant thousands of trees every single year just by forgetting where they put their nuts. A group of pugs is called a grumble. That is the cutest thing I've ever heard. In Switzerland, it's considered animal abuse to only own one guinea pig. You have to own 2. Guinea pigs get severely depressed when they're by themselves, so they need partners to be with. If you ever have a cat and they bring home a dead animal, it's because they think you suck at hunting. They want to make sure you're okay in eating, and they don't see you hunting. So they're like, where is this guy getting any nutrition? The ozone layer, the thing that we've obliterated over the past century, it's slowly healing itself. We're not doing anything. It's fixing itself.
The funniest true facts about short people.
I never even knew that, because we've been hearing a lot about, the ozone layer, stuff like that, but to hear that it's actually healing itself, we probably going to have to dive deep into that one, Seekers. That's an interesting fact. You guys believe that?
Quickly, tag one of your shorter friends so they can see this video too. Now technically, being called short means you're between 5'3" and 5'7" inches tall. Now at this height, you can sometimes actually pass as a child, therefore getting cheaper prices. And you even get to ignore the caution low ceiling signs, which saves a lot of headaches. You sometimes even get to use tall people as human shields to protect from objects and even nature. And short people can probably fit over a month's worth of washing in one single load. Now the good news is, you will typically live longer according to research and studies. And being short actually means you have a reduced risk of getting cancer. And believe it or not, it's scientifically proven that information travels to your brain faster.
Really? To the Short Kings out there,
10
congratulations.
facts you didn't know that could save your life. If your house ever smells like fish for no reason, 9 times out of 10, it's because there's an electrical fire. If you're in a foreign country and you need to call for help, but you don't know the emergency number, call 112 and it'll automatically connect you to the nearest helpline. If a tornado looks like it's not moving, it's actually moving towards you. If you ever wake up to the smell of gas, don't turn on a light. The spark from the light switch could blow up your entire house. Lying flat on your back is the best way to survive a falling elevator. If your hair ever stands up, duck and cover because you're about to be struck by lightning. If you ever fall off the edge onto the tracks, don't try and crawl back up. There's a crawl space built to go underneath in case this happens. If a deer runs across the road, it's better to hit it than swerve into the ditch. But if it's a moose, then it's better to swerve into the ditch, because hitting a moose is like hitting a brick wall. Even if you have no service, you can still dial 911. In an emergency, your phone will connect to the nearest tower. If you ever get kidnapped into the back of a vehicle, disconnect the brake light wires so the cops will pull them over. Then kick on the door to let them know that you're there.
You need those facts. Write them down.
Facts that I wish I didn't know. When you die, the last thing to go is your hearing. So as all your other mortal sensations are leaving this world, the last thing you're ever going to experience are the sounds going on around you, which very well could be like your family members crying or cheering. By the year 2050, there's going to be more plastic in the ocean than fish. When pigs get a cold, like a cough, very often they will shoot their intestines out of their anus, and farmers have to, like, stuff it back in.
Oh, man. That is disgusting. Never do that. Never. Tap in with us, man. Y'all gonna learn some things.
Interesting facts you never knew. The last one is shocking. When penguins can't find love, they waddle off to die alone. The movie theaters actually has cameras inside every theater. So just know, if you were getting freaky, Bob in your local theater probably saw you. You're nasty. Your true love is the first person you see when you click share, slide all the way down, and click more. You wake up before you die in your dreams because your mind can't comprehend death. Want to know what your day is going to be like tomorrow? Type tomorrow in the comment section and let your autocorrect finish the sentence for you. Tastes like your mama's booty. People actually see you 20% more attractive than you think you are. A cafe in Japan hires paralyzed people to control robot servers. This is so that they can still have income and make a living. Before we get to the last fact, can you support me by clicking the follow button for more interesting facts every day? Arnold Schwarzenegger said in many interviews that O.J. Simpson was always supposed to play the Terminator. The main reason he stopped being cast was because James Cameron didn't think he was believable as a killer.
Dirty facts about history that school probably didn't teach you. Part 20. Before she married Ronald, Nancy Reagan was known around Hollywood for her oral abilities, therefore making her a certified throat goat. Queen Victoria really loved doing the deed with her husband, Prince Albert. Like, really loved doing it. To the point where it was audible through doors and walls several times daily. After the Founding Fathers signed the Declaration of Independence, they went frat boy mode and racked up a pretty impressive bar tab. A bottle of whiskey, 2 bottles of wine, and 7 to 10 beers per Founding Father. George Washington in particular was known as the 3-bottle man, meaning he could drink 3 entire fifths of whiskey without blacking out. The guy who invented sea monkeys was a white supremacist, so if you ever bought this bullshit, you indirectly contributed to the Klan.
This is how rare your
Who got some sea monkeys when they were younger, man? The more you know. And man, exposing us to new facts every day. Never in a million years would have guessed that.
ideas compared to the rest of the world. Only 10% of the population have what is known as Morton's toe, making you extremely rare if you have this. This is where your second toe is longer than your big toe. What's even more rare is only 5% of people's tongues are tied. This is literally where your tongue is tied to the bottom of your mouth, impacting eating and speech. Only 1% of people have unbreakable bones. And if you have this, you are literally considered a superhuman. It's a mutation that makes your bones several times denser than the average human. Which means someone with this mutation could walk away from a fucking car crash completely fine. Only 10% of the population suffer from eczema. Most get it when they're a child. It's bullshit! Whereas others can get it further down the line. 50% of the population can fit their fists in their mouth. That's still pretty rare. If anyone can actually do this, please let me know. Can you tickle yourself? If so, then congratulations, you're a part of the rare 7% of the population who can actually do this. And finally, only 16% of people can make a roaring noise in their head, flexing a muscle in their jaw. Damn. Elon!
I'm gonna need y'all to tell me down below, man. Can y'all do any of those things that he just described? It's like your body can do more things than I ever would have even imagined. It's kind of crazy how like complex your body is, and the different things it can do, and how it can differ from different people. Insane.
Which of these facts is the hardest to believe? It is impossible to hum while holding your nose. If you want to know how your breath smells, lick your wrist and smell it. The word hello was actually invented because nobody knew how to start a telephone conversation. If you Google the phrase, do a barrel roll, the page will do a clockwise spin. Go to it, come back and let me know if it worked. Your eyes actually sees objects upside down. It is your brain that flips it back up. Your foot is exactly as long as the distance between your wrist and the crook of your elbow. Your phone knows your best friend. It is the second person that appears when you click share, and then more. There are 7 to 10 people on earth who look identical to you. Want more?
I think it has to be the second fact. Licking
Facts,
your
it
wrist
could
and
save
smelling
your
it.
life one day. If you're ever somewhere really high, like a mountain, and feel your hair standing up randomly, don't take any pictures and run as fast as you can to cover. You're about to get hit by a lightning strike. Just like these 2 teens that got hit moments after this picture was taken. If a stranger gets in your car with a weapon and asks you to drive them somewhere, most likely you will have your seatbelt on, but they won't. So drive fast enough into something like a lamppost. Not only will the accident cause a crowd, but it will also injure the stranger, giving you enough time to run away. And don't worry about your damaged car, your insurance will take care of it. And if you're at the beach and you suddenly see the ocean recede, don't think twice and get to high grounds. You're most likely gonna get hit by a tsunami. Better safe than sorry. And finally, if you ever see a bouncing ball on the road while driving, slow down safely and look around, because the ball is usually followed by a small child trying to get it back.
Okay, those facts. Another one, we gotta write those down. Always trying to learn some knowledge from these videos and trying to incorporate it in our everyday life.
That each other exist.
What, don't know they exist?
Sharks have no fucking clue that camels exist. And
Oh boy, do I have a story for you. So like fun fact, actually mildly disturbing fact. Camels are one of those animals that have no business swimming but do it anyway, and they're unnecessarily good at it. And an animal whose home address is a desert being able to pull up on you in the ocean is one of the biggest you I do what I want moves from nature.
It really
There's a
is.
type of dromedary camel called karai that are so comfortable with water that they'll cross rivers and even shallow stretches of the ocean as they look for food. And that's because these overgrown water donkeys love eating mangroves on islands offshore so much that they'll travel for hours to get it. There's actually a pretty good chance that at least one shark has seen one of these sand-loving hump jockeys out in the ocean. He told his friends. They did not believe it. Moral of this video. If you're ever on a boat off the coast of a country like Algeria, you better be prepared to say what's up to a camel. This is why you should never spend the night on Niku Mororo Island. In 1937, while on her flight around the world, Amelia Earhart mysteriously vanished over Howland Island in the Pacific Ocean. Despite an enormous search, she was never found. 3 years after her disappearance, a scientist discovered an incomplete skeleton on this tiny, uninhabited island called Niku Mororo Island that wasn't too far from Howland Island. It looked like whoever's bones these were, they had been ripped limb from limb. But when the bones were examined, they determined they were not Amelia Earhart's. But in 2017, a forensic anthropologist re-examined the bones and determined they were almost definitely Amelia's. So scientists went to Niku Mororo Island and they found freckle cream, something Amelia was famous for using. So the working theory is she crash-landed on Niku Mororo Island and she fell asleep somewhere on the beach. Then, after smelling her blood, hundreds of 3-foot-wide coconut crabs came out of their burrows, swarmed her, and ate her.
Damn. Coconut crabs ate a human being? What the hell? You see how they had to re-examine the bones, because like I said, it's in the details. If it's something messes up the first time, just looking at it again. They confirmed it, man. That's really weird. Coconut crabs? Damn, I didn't even know they was capable of doing something like that. The more you know. The hell is
Unless
that?
you want your own Twitter hashtag, never do what he did. Trust me, you're gonna want to favorite this video so you never end up in this situation. You, my friend, have just caught death itself, the giant hornet. This hornet will come after you in the morning, and by the evening it will own your house, your family, and even your mortgage. Why am I so concerned by this person's well-being? Well, let's start with the fact that these have photographic memories. And you caught it in a plastic see-through cup. You have the desire to beat your ancestors. Now, a sting from one of these is about as nasty as it looks. Described as hot metal being poured into your body. And not only that, they can spray venom too. They don't just have to sting you. And before anyone thinks, no, this isn't a wasp without a couple protein shakes. I know what these hornets do for fun. They raid beehives. And they completely Thanos everything inside of that nest.
Damn.
They can fly up to 25 miles per hour. He can only run 27. To pray for him in the comments. Yo,
Those are some different type of hornets, man.
This is why you should never stay in sketchy motels. In 2005, a young woman on a solo road trip across the country decided to stop for the night. The first place she sees is the Mountaintop Motel. It looked pretty cheap, but she was tired, so she said good enough. The check-in guy eyed her up and down very uncomfortably and then asked her if she was traveling alone. She ignores the question, pays for her room, and then walks away with the key. When she gets inside her room and sees there are literally cockroaches in her bed, she says nope and decides to sleep in her car in the parking lot. Around 3 a.m., she wakes up to see the check-in guy using his own keys to get into the motel room she was supposed to be in. A few minutes later, he storms out and slams the door and starts walking towards her car. Terrified, she hides under her blanket as the man tries to open her car doors but can't and walks away. She speeds off and calls her friend and asks her to look up the address of Mountaintop Motel so she can give it to police. Her friend's quiet for a second and then just says, the Mountaintop Motel closed a week ago.
What the so where was she at? Or was that like a scary story or something? Damn, motels ain't it. Always go to a hotel. It ain't worth it. And a hotel in Bali? Look at those prices. Damn. All those reservations? What the hell happened? Why is it got abandoned? In Bali too? Something had to go down that we don't know about. Looks like they left in a hurry. All the snacks are still on the table. Wind powered? Very creepy.
Psychology tricks that I know work because I use them, part 6. If you're ever nervous about something, chew gum. It'll trick your brain into thinking you're relaxed because we're wired to think that we're safe while we're eating. Don't chew gum in the middle of an interview, an audition, or like a date or something, but use it beforehand to calm your nerves. You can tell a lot about somebody by their feet. If you're in the middle of a conversation with somebody and they're facing you, congratulations, they want to be there. But if they're turned away, like they're not, their feet aren't facing you, they want to leave, they want this conversation to end right now. Stop letting people interrupt you. It's making you seem weak. Your words matter. So if somebody tries to interrupt you, don't stop talking. Don't even try to talk louder. Talk in the same pace, volume, and tone that you were before. They're gonna feel awkward and shut the fuck up.
Hey.
Blood-curdling facts that you wish you never knew. Kayla Posey, who you might recognize from this gif from the show Toddlers and Tiaras, went to her prom this past weekend and took her own life just a few hours later. The dinosaurs in Jurassic Park were not animated. Most of them were just actors in costumes. This photo shows Ismail Hadi, a homeless man from Yemen known for feeding stray dogs. One morning he was found dead, with the dogs refusing to leave his side. A new device in South Africa called Rapex resembles a tube with barbs inside that is inserted like a tampon to prevent sexual assault. Any man who attempts an unconsentful act will be impaled by its teeth and sent to the ER. This 7-year-old girl is the only person in the world with diagnosed chromosome 6 deletion, meaning that she doesn't feel pain, hunger, or the need to sleep. In 2016, she was hit by a car, dragged nearly 100 feet, and felt absolutely nothing.
How is something like that even possible, man? It's because of her chromosomes? Could you imagine if everybody had that? Nobody would feel pain, the need to sleep. Kind of be like invincible. It's crazy to think about. Do you guys want that?
A YouTuber broke into the Bohemian Grove 2 weeks ago and captured everything in HD. This video is like the first of its kind I've ever seen. He got a ton of footage, but let me show you what he got of the owl.
Mine. And that's the owl statue. Holy fuck. Dude, I'm actually here. This is insane. No way. Bohemian Grove. I made it. Yeah. This is the owl statue. What the fuck? No way. This is fucking cool. Oh, that's hollow. They need to fill this pond up. They do.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the owl. A bunch of ferns have grown on it.
Oh, that's like the power station.
Now that is absolutely insane. For those of you that don't know, the Bohemian Grove is speculated to be some kind of conspiracy theory of where the elite go to sacrifice people. They hold their weird rituals there, and that's how they stay in power. The real definition is that it is an invite-only elite club. Only the biggest names in the world can come here. Nobody really knows what's going on in there. They just kind of light an owl and go there. Seeing all this stuff up close and everything is absolutely insane. The fact that the owl is hollow blew my mind. Seeing everything overgrown and abandoned makes me think they moved to another location for their elite invite-only club. Probably somewhere underground at this point, to be honest, so it's away from the public eye. The person that filmed this on YouTube is Dancer1. Definitely go check out his video. It's half an hour long and it is amazing. He really snuck in there with a kayak and a cast iron skillet paddling. The dude is built different. Let me know what you guys think about the Bohemian Grove. Maybe something weird is going on there. Some kind of sacrifice. Who knows?
See other YouTubers, I think, go there too. That's actually insane. Bohemian Grove. Like I said, it definitely looked abandoned. They, like I said, going off his prediction, they probably, like I said, moved it to a different place because it got, I guess, too known to the public. They wanted to switch it up. YouTube, that's it, man, for this video for you guys today. If you guys stay with me to the end of the video, you're true seekers seeking the truth. Greatly appreciate that support, man. Like I said, guys, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, hit that post notification bell, man, so we can grow our community together. I really appreciate the support you guys have been showing in these past couple of videos. I know, man, we could grow our community into something special. That's why I do daily uploads for you guys. You guys gonna catch in the next one, man. I'm out. Peace, YouTube. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. How you guys doing? Hopefully you guys are doing alright, man. If you guys are brand new to the channel, you guys don't know what we do. We break down scary and creepy videos, man, on the net, on the web, from YouTube videos to TikTok videos, IG videos, Facebook, anything weird, usual, and unexplained you can find right here on this channel. Just want to thank the seekers, man, who's tapping into the channel, subscribing, hitting that post notification bell. Really appreciate that, man. I greatly appreciate the support. Found this video for you guys today. Let's do what we do best. Seek the truth.
Now this is why you should not marry your cousin.
Okay.
In a village in Turkey, there is a family that walks on all fours. Hidden from the world, discovered by only a handful of scientists, this family have never been able to stand upright. Experts have been baffled by this. The family displays an almost animal-like state. But why? Well, the parents are first cousins and have 18 children. Because of this, the kids were born with an extremely rare disorder that affects their sense of balance. Sadly, the children are treated like social outcasts. They're even bullied and beaten up by the local kids.
It got that bad where it's like they're in like I said, they're in that state, they can only walk on their hands. The other thing they have 18 kids together. What the? Not too much to say on that, Seekers.
Here are the top 5 most disrespectful predators in nature, because sometimes it's not about a meal, it's about sending a message.
Let's hear it.
The jaguar. Their whole game plan revolves around factory resetting their prey by tooth punching their skull. Alpha pounds promise bite of any cat turn a lizard into luncheon. They'll put a caiman out of order. That's a reptile dysfunction. It's the fact they go into the water to turn an alligator understudy into a belt. Forrest the falcon. You want to see why? You want to see it again? Imagine a 240-mile-per-hour avian assault to the back of the nugget. And with weak claws for a bird of prey, falcons ball up their feet before impact. So yeah, they can literally falcon punch your ticket to the cloud cookout. 3 hyenas. No particular reason. 2 are golden eagles, because what do you mean you yeet goats off cliffs? Where did that thought process come from?
What the?
You said you want to be like Mike, you want to fly? I got you, first class. Then you go subject them to this NPC at death, gave him time to do nothing but reflect. One needs no explanation, but you're still gonna get it. Orcas are liable to world star slap a stingray, and like falcons, they're not above weaponizing physics. You want to see how fast a seal can join the Air Force? Follow a desaturated psychopath long enough. And let it be known, they don't have to be in their element to emancipate you from the population. Some might say too smart for their own good. I disagree. You'll find they're doing quite swimmingly.
A Barbie left on the cliff with his murdered child might be used to solve her cold case. 6-year-old Rosie Tapia was abducted from her bedroom on August 13th, 1995. Her mother had gotten home at 3 a.m. and checked on Rosie in the bedroom that she shared with her siblings. They were all sleeping soundly with the window open, and her mother went to close the window but didn't lock it because the noise would wake the children. Literally just 2 hours later, her mom woke up and got a feeling that she needed to check on her children. Rosie was gone, and her body was later found floating in the nearby canal. Police determined that the screen had been pried off from the outside, and being so low to the ground, an intruder could easily get in. And unfortunately, any DNA on her body was contaminated by the canal water. And after Rosie was buried, the family found a single Barbie doll sitting on her grave. And police are hoping that DNA from the doll can be used to solve the case. Advances in DNA technology give hope that one day Rosie's case can be solved, and over 60 people have been swabbed, but no one's been arrested. There are multiple suspects in this case, including a man that was seen walking with wet jeans on the morning of Rosie's death, and this man in the hat and sunglasses that carried Rosie back to her apartment after she hurt herself on the playground the day before she died. I do a deep dive into possible suspects and theories on the murder of Rosie Tapia on my YouTube channel, Celestial Sylvia.
Things humans...
What do you guys think, man? There's a whole bunch of things about that case, man, that doesn't right. The not locked windows, the 2 suspects, especially that they said I'm drawing that man who brought her back the day before of the events that took place. Was he like watching her? It's things we got to be aware of, man. You never know who's watching.
We're never meant to see.
Okay.
Firstly, we've all seen alligators poke their head out of water, and it's pretty terrifying when they do this. However, this is what their body looks like underneath the water. And this honestly makes alligators seem a lot less scary. This is what water looks like on fire. How is this even possible?
What?
Okay, next, in World War II, the US made inflatable tanks that were used as decoys in the war. This is genius. We were not meant to see this. This man threw boiling water off his balcony, and it instantly turned to snow. And this is a super rare sheepfish. It's a snail that has the head of a sheep and the body of a plant.
Whoa. Learn something new every day. At it. Call it like I see it.
Do you ever see a picture
picture that just makes your stomach drop. This is a still from an alert that a woman named Alexis Randall got on her phone. It's from a security camera that was set up in her living room, but she's looking at this and she's thinking the same thing you are. She's like, what's wrong with the picture here? Why did the motion detector go off? But then look a bit closer, specifically at the bathroom door.
I don't see nothing.
This man was staring at the camera from the doorway. She spots this picture and she immediately panics and calls the police, but by the time they get there, this guy is gone. What really freaked her out even more is that when police got there, they found evidence that the bathroom window had been tampered with. Further security footage would show that the man had crawled through the bathroom window the night before and was hiding in the hallway bathroom all through the night, even while she was in the house. And if you guys are loving Creep Time, make sure to go follow on Insta.
Man. How the hell he was in the whole house and she didn't even know? See, it's things like that, man, that makes, if you by yourself, it makes living like that scary, bro. You're in a hole, you're in a place by yourself, and like you said, it was pitch black. I ain't seen nothing in the pitch, but yeah, if you zoomed in, there's definitely was somebody there. And he was there the whole time, he didn't do nothing. What was his intention, man? What was he even doing in there? That's gonna make me check every dark room from now on, bro. I can't have somebody in my house and I know it.
Really weird fun facts that you might find pretty damn interesting. Number 1, banging your head against a wall for an hour burns 150 calories.
What?
Number 2, approximately 40,000 Americans are injured by toilets each year.
Whoa.
Number 3, there's a higher chance of you being elected president of the United States than winning the lottery. Number 4, an average of 100 people choke to death on ballpoint pens each year. Number 5, it is harder to be an employee at Walmart than a student at Harvard because Walmart has a lower acceptance rate. Number 6, human birth control pills work on gorillas. Number 7, there are 2 million millionaires in the United States. I am not one of them. And number 8, like fingerprints, every tongue print is different from person to person.
Learn some new facts today.
How rare is your body? Let's find out. About 28% of people have a dark limbal ring, which is this dark ring around the outside of your eye, and as you age, you're more likely to have one. Only about 5% of people have these back dimples, and these are more common in females than they are in males. Only about 4% of people have something called a talon's cusp, and then you can see it right here on the back of the tooth. It's almost like a little talon or fang, and they're usually benign, and they're more common in males than females. Only about 33% of people are left eye dominant, and yes, you actually have a dominant eye. And if you want to test which eye you are dominant in, put your hands in a little triangle, put them out and center an object in it, and then close your left eye, and if the object stays centered, you're right eye dominant, and if it's the opposite, then you're left eye dominant.
Try that. But what that symbol said to me was that, like,
Yo, what's up? These are fun facts about women that are actually pretty crazy. Part 5. Taller women are more likely to have cancer, whereas shorter women are more likely to have smaller babies. I don't think that's a fair trade, but it's not my doings. In Greece, throwing an apple at a woman was considered a marriage proposal. Now, if anyone did that in America, and they threw an apple at the woman they were trying to propose to, she would definitely walk up to him and calmly go, "Yo, why'd you throw that apple at me? That ain't cool. Now I'm gonna have to beat you, bruh." 80% of women will ask questions that they already know the answer to, and the reason being is they're not trying to interrogate us, they're just trying to see if we're listening and if we actually care about what they're saying. So, just pay attention, guys. A lot of women lose 2 to 3 hours of sleep every night due to overthinking, anxiety, worry, whatever that may look like. And I'm not saying guys don't do this too, but women are linked to having less serotonin, which helps them go to sleep. So women, if you're still up, get on the Xbox, play some COD, and smack some noobs for us.
Really? What the Well, there's some new facts today, Seekers. That's a damn edit. What the fuck? You can clearly see that. Come on, man.
This person's body is just filled with parasites and parasite eggs all over the place. Those very white spots you see, those are all eggs. Now, how did this person get this way? They got this way by eating undercooked pork for 10 years. And not just undercooked, like undercooked and raw. This can also happen from like undercooked bacon and stuff like that. That's why you really gotta fry it up. The condition this person has is called trichinosis. It comes from the trichinella parasite. And honestly, I'm not even sure if you would survive this. I would assume it would eat your body literally from the inside out. When the infection is extensive and heavy like this, people have trouble regulating their heartbeat, breathing, and even moving. Which makes sense because your body is literally being eaten. All the nerves, everything. However, it is good news. The estimated death rate for this is like 0.2%. But also, I'm not sure how extensive a lot of those cases are. I'm sure they're not as extreme as this case right here. So that's your scary fact of the day. Don't eat undercooked meat. And this isn't just pork. Usually undercooked meats in general can give you this. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. And as always, these videos are for informational purposes only.
That is scary, man. Goes to show you, if your food ain't properly cooked, man, that's how I like my stuff crispy or done, because me personally, I don't even like eating undercooked stuff. It just tastes like completely weird to me. But that's another reason right there. I had all those parasites in his body. Like I say, you're literally getting eaten from the inside out because you're not properly cooking your food. Pay attention, man.
Chinese zodiac signs that will be rich in 2024. Rats have a good chance of winning the lottery or gaining from successful investment. Monkeys will earn large amounts of money and be able to fulfill their biggest desires. Rabbits will join projects that put a lot of money in their pockets from as early as the first few days. Dragons will attract wealth like a magnet. Starting February 10th, money will pour in from everywhere, and dragons will be able to afford whatever they want.
Really?
Snakes will be rewarded by their bosses for their efforts and brilliant ideas. They'll receive a substantial raise or bonus, causing their income to increase greatly.
Yeah, funny thing about that. The sound of the lion in the MGM logo was actually the roar of a tiger. And it's because tigers were seen to have a louder, more intimidating roar, where lions had more of an aggressive, low-frequency cough. I'm not even kidding. YouTube it. YouTube lion versus tiger roar. A lion will make you defecate bricks, but a tiger will make you your soul. You know the majestic, shrieking call of the bald eagle in the beginning of literally every Western movie? Well, it was never a bald eagle making that sound. That famous cry was actually a red-tailed hawk. It's because the symbol of America just sounds like a seagull with laryngitis. Go ahead, YouTube it. I'm not going anywhere. The bald eagle takes credit for something that was never his in the first place. That is the bird we put on our flag. Some jokes just write themselves. Remember the dolphin sound from SpongeBob? Well, you were lied to, because it was never a dolphin. It was really a sped-up edited call of this Australian bird called a kookaburra, or however you pronounce it. Oh, you didn't hear it? Also, if you're old enough to remember this show, first of all, God bless you. And second, the dolphin call in this show was also a modified kookaburra. Okay, one more. Mufasa's roar was actually made by using a combination of a tiger, an F-16 fighter jet, and a really pissed off grizzly bear. It's called Lion King for a reason.
He was just exposing the damn freaking industry, bro. I thought all that stuff was real. The lion roar was really a tiger roar. The flipper, and that SpongeBob episode, man, all these that they just using different sound effects and just mashing them up together. Everybody needs to know about this, man. They've been lying to us. Should have known. Can't trust anything you see on TV nowadays, especially the times we live in.
What the loudest bird on earth sounds like.
That wasn't edited, by the way. They actually do sound like they could legitimately trigger a veteran. That is a white bellbird, and they're considered the loudest bird in the world, peaking at 125 decibels. Since that number probably doesn't mean anything to you, a jackhammer is 130, and a jet engine is about 140. Now, do you ever wonder what animals are trying to say when they scream like this? Well, don't. I'll tell you. He's horny. The male bellbird's game is literally screaming into the face of a female. And I'm guessing they're into it because it seems to work for them. And you know what else does? That weird hanging thing there? Yeah, that's called a waddle with 2 T's. And scientists believe that's how males flex on females. So the lower it hangs, the more he slangs. The more you know.
Alright.
Mo, can you just pass my drink that's on the table, please?
Edit.
Thanks.
We all know that's a damn edit.
lead singer Dolores O'Riordan still doesn't sit well with me. Dolores was the lead singer for the band The Cranberries, an Irish rock band. You might know the band from some of their biggest hits like Zombie or Dreams. The Cranberries were a massively successful band, and Dolores was actually one of the richest women in all of Ireland, with a reported net worth of over $66 million.
Damn,
in January of 2018, Dolores traveled from New York City, where she lived at the time, to London. She was traveling there to work with the producer on her side project and discuss a new Cranberries album. When she arrived, she checked in at this Hilton hotel in London, and this is eventually where she would die later that night. At around 2 a.m. on January 15, 2018, Dolores placed a phone call to her mother from inside her hotel room. Later that morning, she was found unresponsive in her bathroom and was pronounced dead at 9:16 a.m. The day after her death, a tabloid newspaper released an article that claimed that they had found fentanyl in her room. This article also falsely stated that London authorities suspected that she took her own life and that this overdose was on purpose. In reality, there was no fentanyl in her bathroom, but the circumstances surrounding her death are even stranger. It took months for her official cause of death to be released, but this is officially what happened. Apparently, her death was ruled an accidental drowning in her bathtub, following sedation by alcohol intoxication. So basically, they said that she got so drunk that she fell asleep in her bathtub and drowned. Toxicology tests done post-mortem showed that Dolores had some levels of pharmaceutical drugs in her system at the time of her death, but these were drugs that she was prescribed, and there was nothing out of the ordinary. She did have a very high blood alcohol level, though. According to authorities, there's no foul play suspected, and they don't even suspect that she tried to end her own life. This was just a tragic accident. If you're enjoying this series about bizarre celebrity deaths, be sure to give me a follow and let me know who you'd like me to cover next.
So you may have seen this image floating around the internet today, because this image, which was recently released, was taken before Emma Brown, featured below, took a gun and turned it on her father and then herself.
What the
The photo is from last year in September, and the plan was part of a murder plot that her and another 12-year-old girl came up with. It was later discovered that Emma's plan was to kill her family and her pets and then run away with a friend. And after she shot her father in the abdomen, she was running towards the driveway when it's believed that she panicked and turned the gun on herself. This all happened in Texas, and now authorities believe that she was headed towards the driveway so she could grab her car, drive about 230 miles to her friend, and then the both of them were going to drive to Georgia together. It's also now believed that Emma didn't come up with this plan herself. It was actually planned by the friend, but they're not releasing the friend's name, and it's not clear how Emma and her met. It's a little implied that cops are blaming social media for this. They issued a statement that basically said, now is a good time to make sure you know who your kids' friends are, especially if they're meeting people off the internet, because you don't ever really know what they're talking about.
Facts.
So I'm obsessed with the dark side of Disney. And did you know there's a horrible period of accidents at Disneyland that doesn't really get talked about a lot? It's been referred to as the Disney Dark Ages. It was from 1997 to 2003 when this guy, Paul Pressler, was the president of Disneyland. Paul basically decided they were no longer going to do scheduled maintenance on rides. They were only going to fix rides when they were broken. Did it save money? Sure. But this resulted in some of the worst accidents the park had ever seen. One of the worst being that of Brandon Zucker. In 2001, Brandon Zucker was on the Roger Rabbit ride, which was already having maintenance issues. An employee put Brandon on the wrong side of the car, and when he put the lap band down, it didn't close all the way. So at one point in the ride, Brandon tumbled out of his seat and was hit by an oncoming car. The car pinned him and dragged him down the track before anyone could do anything. Also, at the time, Disney employees were not allowed to call 911. They had to call park emergency services, who then called 911. So it took a while for anyone to come get Brandon. He did survive the accident, but he had brain damage so bad he was nonverbal and lost a lot of motor skills for the rest of his life. And eventually he passed away at 13 years old.
Watching you sit there...
To hear, man, Disney back in, that's actually insane that they couldn't even call the cops. They had to call the people there, and then there was another call to the cops had to be made. Man, the things people do, bro, just to save some extra money, like it's not worth it at the end of the day, because you're affecting people. That like is one of the most dumbest ideas I've heard. Where you're gonna wait until the ride is actually broken and then decide to fix it. You try to stop a problem before it even gets to that mark. You don't wait till the problem actually happens, then fix it. What type of logic, backward logic is that?
Smile, laugh, shake your head like this was no big deal. I'm very tempted to just say, I'm not going to accept this sentence agreement. We'll go to trial, and if you're convicted of felony murder, you'll go to prison for the rest of your life. That means you'll die there.
never be better than his life. Your want will never trump my son's death. You get to live. You get to wake up every day. Your actions have led you to a prison cell.
I just want to tell
He's
y'all,
smiling.
I'll be home soon, or I'll be Keon. I love my family.
That's all you got to say.
He gave him up. How can people smile when they do something like that, man? Just like it's unhuman to me, man. At it. It's not no freaking portal. See it from right there.
Did you know Jack the Ripper's identity might have been revealed? The Ripper terrorized
Come again?
Whitechapel, a district in London, England, in 1888, responsible for the deaths of 5 women. Sarah Bax Horton, a relative of one of the original police investigators, alleges that Jack was a cigar maker by the name of Chaim Hyams. Horton's claim is based on Hyams' medical records, as he suffered from a peculiar gait as a consequence of his alcoholism and epilepsy. This peculiar style of movement, a declining mental condition, and violent criminal history paint a potential solution to the long unsolved mystery. Additional evidence includes that Hyams also lived in Whitechapel, and as a cigar maker would have had many knives at his disposal, which some have theorized was the primary weapon of Jack the Ripper. Coincidence or mystery solved? Let us know in the comments.
This is why
What do you
have
guys
to be
think?
careful who you let into your Halloween parties. So this is a photo of who police believed was a guest at a Halloween party in Rochester, New York in the 1940s. The party was being thrown by Jack and Amelia Layton, and they actually noticed that this guest was outside of the party watching the guests through a window.
Weird.
The report claims that Amelia believed the guest was her friend Jan, who tended to go above and beyond for Halloween, creating very scary costumes. So she let this person in believing it was her friend Jan. But then 20 minutes later, Jan shows up, and that guest could not be found anywhere. So Amelia starts running around the party asking everyone if they knew who that guest was, and no one had recognized that person. So she goes into her daughter's room, who was playing while the party was happening. And the police report states that the only thing there left of Amelia's daughter was a bloody shoe. 4 other reports of this guest being at parties that night were called into police, and all of them resulted in missing children's cases. The identity of this person has never been found, and none of the kids have been found either.
Like she said, you gotta be careful who you invite to these parties, man. Especially when you're having a big one, you can't kind of monitor how many people are in your house or in your area. Better have like try to have extra people watching, because you never know, man. You just had that one widow just tries to slip through, ain't trying to have a good time. They have different intentions. And like she said, she was at 4 other parties, or that person. And look what that resulted into. Always be where you're surrounded, man. That's when I'm out. I don't wear my headphones like when I'm out walking and stuff like that. Only sometimes, because I like to be aware. I need to know what's going on around me at all times.
So I always thought no one ever dies at Disney. Like, even if something horrible happens, they get the person off the park so they can always say that no one's ever died there. But then I found out not only is that not true, but a law firm has compiled all of the incidents. I'm going to share a few of them with you, but if you're interested in stories like this, make sure you follow the podcast, because tonight's episode's just going to be these stories.
Okay.
So 2 of the park's worst accidents have both happened on the Matterhorn ride. One of them being a woman named Dolly, who in 1984 fell off of one of the back of the sleds onto the rails. At the time, these gondolas used to go into the rides, and so there was actually a family that watched her fall off onto the track. And so the family also saw as there was another car racing towards Dolly. The dad actually screamed at his daughters to cover their eyes, which was for the best, because Dolly got hit hard. She got hit so hard that when EMTs arrived on the scene and were going up into the ride, there were park attendants coming down telling them not to look. And so finally, when someone was looking at the car she was in, they noticed that her seatbelt was unbuckled. But it's never been confirmed if she unbuckled her seatbelt herself, or if an attendant didn't check her seatbelt well enough and it was never buckled in the first place.
There's a horrific murder case that's happening right now out of Arizona that's still unsolved. Let's talk about what happened to Mercedes Vega. On April 16th of this year, Mercedes was abducted from the parking garage of her Tempe, Arizona apartment and brutally killed.
Damn.
That night, security footage shows her walking into her apartment's parking garage a little after 9 p.m. She was on her way to meet her friends and have a fun night at Dave & Buster's, but in this footage, she had no idea what was about to happen to her. Sometime before making it to her car, she was attacked and taken by at least 2 people, and the details that follow are still a mystery. A little after 1 a.m. the next morning, the Department of Public Safety was called in to investigate a car that was on fire along the side of Interstate 10 in Tonopah. Upon arriving to the scene, they found Mercedes' burned body in the back seat, and she was deceased. In the last few hours of her life, she was tortured, and according to the medical examiner, she had been shot in the arm, had blunt force trauma to her head, and had traces of bleach in her throat. But all of this did not kill her. She ultimately died from smoke inhalation while being burned alive in that car. Investigators also found gloves and bleach in the front seat and lighter fluid in the back, but there are still a ton of questions that remain in this case, and nothing about this makes any sense. The car that Mercedes was found in was not her car. Her car, which was a 2019 Dodge Charger, was found abandoned near Mill Avenue in Tempe. She was not burned in her own vehicle, and so far, investigators still don't know who the car she was found in belongs to. One of the big questions in this case is how did her car get from her apartment to where it was found? And who drove the other car to Tonopah? Mercedes' parents believe that this was a targeted attack and that death wasn't the ultimate goal, but that Mercedes fought back, which resulted in her death. Her parents mentioned that she danced at a club 2 nights a week, and many question if her death could possibly be connected back to someone she met while at work. It's now been 7 months, and Mercedes' murder is still unsolved. Whoever committed this vicious attack is still out there. Right now, there is a silent witness award of up to $2,000 for information leading to an arrest. But if you'd like to donate to up that reward or to report a tip, please contact the number on the screen. For more information on this case and to show your support, please follow this account that was created for Mercedes that's run by her family. She and her family deserve justice.
How did it go that long without being unsolved? These unsolved cases. Just mind-blowing. Truly. She had to go through, man. Man. Seekers, if you guys stay with me to the end of the video, you're true seekers seeking the truth. I greatly appreciate the support, man. Like I said, guys, tell me down below, guys, if you guys like my new reacting style. Try to save my thoughts until after the video plays. I'm pausing way less. I know you guys noticed that. Trying to upgrade these thumbnails for you guys, man. I'm really trying to put my all into this, man. I know we can just grow this channel and grow our community together, so I greatly appreciate the support. Make sure you guys to follow me on my social medias down below. Guys, and catch you in the next one, man. I'm out. Peace, Seekers. What's up, Seekers? Welcome back to the channel. How you guys doing? Hopefully you guys are doing alright, man. If you guys are brand new to the channel, you guys don't know what we do. We break down scary and creepy videos on the net, on the web, man. From YouTube videos to TikTok videos, IG reels, Facebook, man. Anything weird, usual, and unexplained, you can find right here on this channel. As you guys can see, man, we're going to be checking out some creepy TikTok videos for you guys today, man. Doing what we do best. Let's seek the truth.
So are we about to witness and hopefully live through a world-ending geomagnetic storm? And will it be a repeat of the Carrington event? Welcome back to the Heart Pill Show. I'm your host, Pharaoh. And in this video, we're going to talk about how this current geomagnetic storm could have bad implications.
Alright.
Now let me start out that this will most likely just be a loss of phone signal and pretty lights in the sky event. But let's get into why this can be something scary. So yesterday, Thursday the 9th, and today, Friday the 10th, there have been many corona mass ejections from the sun. NOAA released a statement and a warning stating at least 2 X-class, which are the largest solar flares, were observed releasing from 2 massive sunspots in the sun, along with several M-class. Now, these are CMEs, or corona mass ejections, and there was another X-class release this morning, Friday the 10th. That CME from this morning is supposed to catch up with the other 5 from yesterday, right as they impact Earth. It's all scary stuff, and what has people up in arms and concerned about this is the last time something like this happened, the Carrington event occurred. The Carrington event was known as the most destructive CME, and it happened on September 1st, 1859. It was so intense that it created such bright auroras in the sky
you know, the Northern Lights, that some gold miners in the Rockies woke up thinking that it was morning. But the reason why this event was documented and is such a callback point to future destructive potential of the sun is the fact that the potential EMP that was created by the sun during this event fried all the telegraph poles and systems. Now, at that time, that was the means of communication across long distance, and was also really all the electronics that the world really had. So the concern today, in today's world, is if that kind of event occurred again, which is the concern with this current, geostorm, with how heavily our modern world is dependent on electronics for communication, for transportation, for food, for survival, then we would be thrown back thousands of years as a humankind because we depend so heavily on electronics. So, yeah, but most likely we'll just lose phone signal and have pretty lights in the sky. Good times. Friday.
What do you guys think, man? That video, man, just shows us how much we dependent on, man, technology. And if it's just can get taken out like that, we all discombobulated. We're all over the place, man. I'm surprised this geostorm, like these facts, hasn't been on the news or something so people could prepare. Wonder why that is.
8 o'clock Eastern time, it is an important update. The geomagnetic storm has just reached Category 5, a G5 with a K index of 9. It's the strongest geomagnetic storm in 20 years.
Damn.
What you're looking at right here, if I get off out of the way, is the actual auroral oval right now. It's all the way down to the central United States. You can see it right there. And that's almost down, as a matter of fact, as far south as St. Louis and Washington, D.C. I mean, really amazing. Now, it has to be clear, and of course it's getting dark right now, but definitely head away from city lights, look to the north tonight. This could be one of your few chances in your lifetime at these latitudes to be able to see the aurora borealis, but get to dark skies. This map actually confirms what we saw just a moment ago. This is typically what you'd see. Down to the red line is where you'd be able to see an aurora when you have a G5 storm like this, which extends from, around Norfolk, Virginia, westward to Northern California. And you can see it just amazingly how far south it is compared to normal. I mean, if it's just a regular geomagnetic storm, it would be all the way up here in the northern tier of the United States to northern Maine, and it's nowhere like that. So definitely try to get out tonight, look to the north. Yeah, there will be some communication problems and things like that, but let's concentrate on the aurora right now because that's the fun part of these geomagnetic storms. Good luck tonight.
The strongest solar storm to strike Earth since 2005 is on its way tonight. Because of that, NOAA did issue a geomagnetic storm watch for the planet Earth. This is due to a G4 class solar storm, which is severe on the scale. Now, some of the effects that we might see from this tonight are possible voltage issues to the power grid up north. Disruptions are possible to satellite navigation as well. And auroras could be possible all the way down to the Gulf Coast tonight, especially on the horizon. If you want to have a good shot at seeing this, you are going to have to get out of areas of light pollution and also use a camera as well to see it best on the horizon. Now, if you really want to see it tonight, you're going to have to go north up into places like South Dakota, Minnesota, Illinois, Michigan, and especially up into Canada.
Really?
If you guys haven't heard yet, there's signal issues going on. There's a geostorm affecting everybody. It doesn't matter if you're on RTK, WAS, Trimble, Egg Leader, Deer. Everything's getting knocked out. A couple of geese here.
Even the geese getting affected.
If you guys have questions, you can call us, but I'm sure everyone's being affected, so I just wanted to let everybody know.
The thing that's getting to me is, man, we haven't been seeing this like on the news and stuff, man. It's like the geomagnetic storms and stuff. Everybody just they're focusing on the lights, but they just like kind of ignoring the possibilities of what could happen. That's concerning. These geomagnetic storms. When I looked up, I'm about to say I looked up in the sky at night and I ain't seen no aurora lights. And that's a rare opportunity. Maybe you guys saw, because we all over the place now. I've been seeing from the comments. So tell me if you guys been affected by this G5 storm. Another one?
Hey guys, they are forecasting that we will see some additional geomagnetic activity about midday today, May 12th. So they are forecasting that it'll be somewhere between the G4 to G5 severe status. So be on the lookout, guys.
This geostorm, man. It's affecting it. It's affecting everything, bro. That's why I'm tapped in with the TikToks, man. I would have never known. But has it been on the news or something, man? I'm glad for our community seekers. It keeps me tapped in.
They had a machine that was used to control the weather. Then somehow the machine got hacked and it started malfunctioning. And it started controlling the weather on its own will. And it started killing people. So they had to destroy the machine because they had got hacked and started malfunctioning, being out of control.
And there's a movie called Geostorm. Is that a sign? Is there any correlation between those two? Any similarities? Hey, man. Nowadays, you never know. That Geostorm, like I said, that was a movie that came out. And we guys been, these videos, you've been seeing how these movies and stuff, they're based off, like, true events. Sometimes even these fictional movies behind the scenes, man. Like, every stories, every movie, every piece of media you see, man, it comes from a true story somewhere around the world. What do you guys think? If you guys made it with me to the end, you guys are real ones supporting the channels. I really appreciate that, man. You're a true seeker. So thank you, man. Like I said, guys, if you guys want to stay tapped in with the community with us, man, follow me on all my social medias down below. I'm really trying to get my numbers up on there as well. So I greatly appreciate the support, just so we can, stay in contact with each other and we can grow and we can share what we find together. Guys, gonna catch you in the next one, man. I'm out. Peace, seekers.